Hello, my fellow Americans. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. Rush Limbaugh's America, Part 2. In Part 1, I left out a big group, in fact, half of the country, that the guys who sat around the table and drew up the Bill of Rights and Declaration of Independence and Constitution left out. Women. I guess it's kind of fitting I left them out because, those guys left them out. But you see, they weren't included. They didn't get the right to vote. I don't even know if they could own property. But you see, when these guys drafted up these pieces of paper, these, documents that we all hold with such esteem, or taught to hold with such esteem, you could just see it's like Swiss cheese, just full of holes. A lot of people, they just weren't included. By design. And it's just amazing how when you listen to Rush and he's talking about, his history books and teaching kids the history of America, and how great this country is and how great these people were, how he just seems to leave out part of the story. Like I say, it's like that movie Final Cut, just taking the snippets, making somebody look good. But the thing is, nothing's really changed. Because, he'll talk about the captains of industry, the carpetbaggers. I mean, and if you look throughout history, these guys that built America, they were basically people who did some pretty diabolical and underhanded things, took advantage of their fellow people, bullied them. The oil men, the industry men, almost every last one of them. And the thing is, it hasn't really changed at all. When you read about Bill Gates, what he did, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook. I mean, these guys probably read about these great men, but, once again, we've got people taking advantage of others, not giving them their fair share, cheating, breaking the law, just doing whatever. But somehow these people get held up and looked up to because they made a lot of money. Forget how many lives they ruined, crushed. It's not important. Money. And then, right as I'm shooting this video, we have I believe it's a senator, who's been found with some 20 felonies against him, but he's not stepping down. In fact, the people re-elected him. So, in Rush Limbaugh's America, the way he tells it, we're supposed to believe how great this country is. Greatest of all countries. Even though, when you look at it closely, it's no different than any other great country throughout history. Led by people trampling on others, who trample on others without regard to their life, limb, property, take what they want. I guess to the victors goes the spoils. And, it's one of those things where you really can't hit the reset button. It's like, we're not going to give the country back to the Native Americans. I thought something was really funny the other day. They said, talk about press 1, speak English, you're in America. And the guy says, no, you want to speak English, go back to England. When you're over here, you should be speaking Navajo or Cherokee. They've got a point. But once again, to the victor goes the spoils. And the victor gets to write history and portray things the way they want to. But you see now, with things like Facebook and the computer, the internet, and Instagram and Twitter, forums and chats. I mean, the truth, or versions of the truth, can spread, across the globe in seconds. But we just have to realize that, some of these truths are from a perspective. Sometimes things get cut out of pictures. Sometimes things get cut out, edited out of stories in the newspaper and what goes on the 6 o'clock news. Agendas? Some people have them, some people don't. But you see, we the people, we have to live under this. So you see, in Rush Limbaugh's America, he wants us to believe that, we're great, everybody else is the bad guys, that, we're supposed to be strong and liberators. Even though we do some pretty underhanded things, and as Edward Snowden showed, the government doesn't have any regard for you and me. Not really. Little or no regard. All we are just little tax revenues. So, my fellow Americans, I think the thing to do is just to make your life the best life that you can. And be aware of what's going on out there. You hear something or see something on the internet, you check it out, do your own research, plan and prepare for you and yours. Because we only get that one life that we know of for sure. That's the one we've got right here, right now. So, you can take your time and try to slay the dragons. Or you can just do what you need to do to keep a roof over your head and food in your belly. It's a dilemma. It's really tough. It's a balancing act. And you don't really want to waste your life. You want to enjoy it. But to turn a blind eye to what the government's doing, that isn't necessarily the optimum solution. A lot of people, laid down their lives so we could be where we are today. So we have to kind of remember that and respect that. So, once again, it's your life, it's your choice. But we just can't take what anybody says as all that there is. We have to dig in and look and come to our own conclusions. Just like when you watch my videos, don't take my word for it. You have to come to your own conclusion. To me, I hear these things like Rush, and every now and then it's just, I just can't believe in what he says, because I guess I've been unplugged from the Matrix. I guess that happens after you've been around the sun a few laps. You can see through things. You see through the propaganda. When this guy gets on TV, chances are he's going to tell us a lie. Like the immigration system is broken. That's not broken. You just aren't enforcing the laws of the land because you don't want to. You want to change them. The healthcare system's broken. You have a right to healthcare. No, you don't. You just want to rule because part of the rules for radicals is if you get healthcare, about 1/6 of the country's economy, and it's one step closer to socialism. So you see, my fellow Americans, it's almost the end of 2014. But one thing is still true, and that is wake up and smell the tyranny.